One tap, you get a conversation with your customer that never ends.
You know how many people have been to your venue. You know how many people have tapped. I'm just going to scan.
Yeah, I was like, you need to talk to Ryan. He's got Tap the Table. Don't even waste your time. He's got a solution.
It just works.
And that's why Tap the Table exists in the first place. Boom. And then you just start doubling the price. That's that right there.
We're doing different things.
I'm going to tell you what works based on what I have literally seen. Stop. Just tap your phone. Boom, done. Easy. What is going on, people of the internet? You have found yourself in exactly where you need to be, the nerdiest place on the internet, the ChatBot Podcast, my friends, and I'm your host, Ryan Bag, and we've got an awesome episode in store for you today. You know, I'll tell you, when I was bringing the podcast like every day, sometimes 2 times a day, it was because I just couldn't contain all the excitement that I just felt like with this automation stuff and just seeing the things happen. And as things progress and as things get moved further back and the goalpost is moved further, it takes more and more and more to get that same level of excitement. And I'll tell you, the special guest that we've got on tonight brings the heat, man, especially in the content department. A lot of folks know her for very complex automation. They come knock on her digital door and they're like, yo, we have a very tough bot problem to solve. And we heard you were like Vanilla Ice. And then you're like a problem solver or something like that. And then do the little dance. Here's my jokes here. Guys, please help me welcome back onto the ChatBot Podcast our very own Miss Wendy. What is going on, man?
Hey, how are you, Ryan?
I always have fun with these intros because I never know what I'm going to like freestyle up here, but it's always the truth. That's what we know. This is an interesting new layout. I guess it's been a while since we've been on Restream. They got a little comments section here. That's kind of cool. We'll hide that for now because we know how I like to get distracted every now and then, right? How you doing today?
Well, I'm doing fine. It's really hot where I am, but hey, let's have some fun. Let's talk everything.
Well, we're on the opposite coast, but it is hot here in South Carolina as well. I guess the word is the weather people, they're just guessing anyways, right? But the word is it's going to be like the hottest week so far of the year. And we'll see how that is. Hopefully we'll get invited on a nice boat again like we did last weekend. Shout out to Mr. Tom for hooking us up. That was so fun. I know I was making you jealous with those photos, but I'm sure when you come visit,
it suffered a lot.
You'll have a lot of boat time here as well. This episode, I thought we could do a little recap on what we've seen, because we've seen all of the things happen here in this message marketing, conversational commerce industry, I would think. And now we're getting so good. We are smooth. We can put music on, just like Kelly from Baby Got Bobby. I have background music now with our podcast stuff. But I've got some little cards up here, and I'm going to go through some questions that we've got to ask about to Wendy. But before we do that, I have to give you a shout out, first of all, because why? These things right here, folks, these NFC QR code cards have been absolutely a hit. I'm going to zoom in on myself so you can see it. These things right here, man. This one is special shout out to GyroTrack. They're the ones that just try anything that makes sense to them. As long as we can get the message across to them and it makes sense, they're like, you know what? Let's try it. And I respect that so much. It makes us work that much harder, right?
They're very brave, and I don't know. I think brave. That's a smart move, because if they don't move forward, then they cannot be the better and be the first ones to do it.
Totally. I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to Danielle's first couple podcasts we've done, the owner of GyroTrack. They're brand new on YouTube, but this guy is a legend, and his story, it shows in so many different ways his bravery. He doesn't necessarily consider it bravery. He's just telling the story. I'm just sitting here listening, and I'm like, you're telling me that you took a group of 100 dudes and you made an ice bridge in Canada to go chop down trees. This is what you did to what? This is how you made money, sir? You're insane. But these are the first French Canadians that I've rarely ever dealt with in business, and they're really they're good people. They've treated me with nothing but respect, and they've hooked it up left and right. The GT drone has helped us out in many cases, and they're, like you said, just brave. They're willing to try it. If we can sell it to them and say this is why you should do it, and here's Wendy's content to back it up, they're generally open to it, right?
Yeah, they just need a reason to believe that it will be working, or that it will be worth the risk, and that's it. And that's amazing because most of the people get stuck on not doing stuff because they're afraid something might go wrong. But there's never a guarantee that everything will be always right.
You're exactly right. And I think the difference between the agencies out there or the consultants out there that are throwing spaghetti at the wall, for instance, the difference is how many hours do you think we don't really track hours here. We just get the job done. But how many hours do we spend on a weekly basis trying to strategize this scenario, that scenario? What if this was to happen? There's so many different if thans. How do you even keep track? Is it just a matter of consistency and testing and are we just crazy bot people? What is your thought on the ability to do this kind of stuff with tech?
Well, once I heard this phrase, I heard it in Spanish, so I don't know if I'm translating right, but they were saying that if you see the birds, they rest on the branches of a tree, not because they believe in the tree that will support them, but because they believe on their wings. And if the branch breaks, they will be able to fly. I think this kind of people that always go for something more or try something new is because they believe in themselves, and they know that if something goes wrong, they will have the tools, the knowledge, and the courage to do it how it has to be, to fix it, to find a new way. So I think it's more that than any other thing.
I think you're exactly right. And I think that, any guy that's not afraid to take 100 dudes through the wilderness in Canada over a man-made makeshift ice bridge is not, he's also not afraid to do a podcast. I don't think that the thing is, he's probably never listened. Matter of fact, I know for sure Danielle has never listened to a podcast before until he made his own. That's the type of individual he is. It's not like he's your typical hipster kind of guy you might think of thinking a podcast, wearing a flat bill and earmuffs, right? Just kidding. But this guy, he's like, sure, if this is going to help me accomplish the mission, which is change the world with biomass through, creating energy through biomass, aka trees, that are not able to be made into paper and stuff and be built to use for houses. You're not going to make a house out of pine tree, folks. This guy is just an innovator, a genius. And when I was there today, we go visit every Tuesday and visit them. He was looking like Tony Stark, man. I have to tell you, he looks like Iron Man, and make him blush a little bit. Sometimes he doesn't understand me as much as I don't understand him with his thick accent. This is your first call with them today. What did you think about that?
Actually, it was the first call, and I have to be honest, between the fact that I was in the phone, that it was not me there looking at them or trying to figure out, and well, I didn't speak English as a native, so it was a little bit harder for me to understand, but they seemed too nice. They seemed so awesome. Open to try new things. They were so happy, so much energy. It was like the perfect meeting today.
I look forward to the Tuesdays with them. I travel basically 4 hours, every Tuesday to go see them. Luckily, Danielle's got some deep pockets, pays the bills over here. Thanks, Danielle. But it's so fun. It's what I look forward to in a way. It's my Friday. We have a crazy schedule here, but this is the day that I know I'm going to be gone all day. I know that we're going to do nothing but at least do our best to accomplish all the goals. Patricia usually has a checklist. It's giant. It's lately been getting slimmer and slimmer. And it's not because there's less to do. It is because, thankfully, we've smartened up here at TTT and hired the right ones, right? And I tell you, your efficiency with the content is absolutely awesome. And we're just so appreciative that you do the things you do. And it's leveling up all over the place. When I told the group about some of the documents we've been working on, their eyes just lit up, and we can't talk about all the things, obviously, but this is something that we do have to talk about. And tell me what your thoughts were when I said to you, I need you to make an awesome graphic, include a QR code, and have the user understand that we're going to be able to tap their phone and provide information. What did you
Okay,
think about
that's a
that?
hard one
Challenge
because
accepted, right?
yeah, it's unexpected and it's kind of hard because I'm used to people not following instructions. I'm used to people not reading. So it's hard to make someone, for example, someone that is 60 or 70 years old to know what a QR code is and not to
Exactly.
be scared of NFC because they might think that I just hacked their phone or that I have done something wrong to their stuff. So yes, it was kind of hard. I had to make some research. But at the end, it was so fun because it was creating something that no many people actually use, and not many people. It's actually I don't know, like
It's an experience,
yeah,
like
it's a
it's
whole new
more than
experience because it
it's
feels like magic.
the agency that I've talk about frequently, where I learned a whole different side of things and a way of looking at things and how to sell things, how to not do things. The one thing that they excelled at by a long shot, that one of the many things I just totally respect, is they crush the experiential marketing game. The experiential game is just something that, like, when you think of Facebook ads all day long and you think of like video and like, when's the next Sony camera coming out? Hello, Sony A7 IV, I'm waiting on you. Please hurry. To me, it's an afterthought of what the experience could be, because that's not usually the end goal in my mind, the experience. But when it's done correctly, and when you can bring what we specialize in, hello, technology, your digital presence, your digital side of your business, into the physical world in a fun way. I said it today or yesterday, I forget, all the days run together. When your marketing makes someone smile, you're doing something right.
Yeah, it's just the way it has to be because marketing is just to give. Well, I see marketing as two main stuff to do. One is to bring to the brand or to the product the first chance. Because if you have a great marketing, but it's a very bad product, it won't last. And if people is not ready for it, it won't last either. So you have to do two things: to give the first chance and to keep in the top of the mind of the people. So if you're making them smile, you will get them to remember you for a longer time and to remember you in a positive way. That's for me the road or the route to follow, so we can get to the main land for any business that it sells. You get to know that you're doing a great job because it reflects on your bank account. That's
1,000%. And it comes down to my favorite thing to talk about, which is the result. And that's the number one thing, guys. By the way, we're how many minutes in? I don't even know. I guess 15 minutes or so in. Here's your first, like, looking at the camera moment, dropping knowledge. If you're here, take away this value. Before your next Facebook post, do like Wendy does and understand what is our intention behind this post. Meaning, what do we want to happen if and when this thing that we're publishing scrolls across someone's screen? Understand what is the goal when you've posted this thing. And it's not to get likes, I hope, because if that is your goal, wrong, right? Would you agree? It's not the
yeah,
goal.
it will have to be like something very special for me to be trying to get the likes.
Be
Then you
very
have
niche, I can't even think of something off the top of my head. In some cases, I'm sure, like, Facebook
social
likes it
proof,
when it
maybe, or to keep a client happy, but that's it.
totally. And here's another hint: don't stop telling your people what to do so explicitly. Like, number one, hello, it's against Facebook's terms and rules. So if you're putting money behind these posts that you're like basically publishing illegally, it's not going to work. But the thing here is, when you know your intention, right? Even if your intention has nothing to do with like our favorite thing, automation, if your intent is to have someone see your post, your video, your image, and then visit your website, your intent is for them to leave the social network and then go to your website, at least understand a good metric to actually judge upon this action here. And please don't let it only be what Facebook tells you it is, because if you're only judging by, well, I spent $100 on this post
Hmm.
and I got 200 clicks on my ad here. If the real story is you got a 99 99% bounce rate of those 200 clicks.
It doesn't work. Yeah, it's trash.
There's a problem here, and you might not ever realize it for a long time, except that you just spend money here and you don't get sales, or you wrongly attribute those sales.
Yeah, that you have to be checking all the steps and find what it's leaking, because it's impossible to have it right all at the first time. You have to be looking for the first objectives, and you have to prioritize. The first thing is to grab the attention. If you don't have the attention, there will be nothing left. So fix it first, and then you go for the next step, and you go moving forward until you get to the sale. And when you get to the sale, well, you have another set of steps that will be maybe an upsell, maybe someone who want to be a loyal client for you, or I don't know, maybe you want to create something like another product you want to sell to them. So it never ends. Maybe you want for them to give you a referral. I don't know, maybe you want a review, or you want a testimonial. It doesn't end just in the sale, and you have to be checking where in the road just stop getting the results you wanted.
Exactly.
You have to be creative, and you have to be always optimizing. It always can be better, always.
If you've stopped optimizing, even if it was perfect on X day, X time, in 2-3 weeks, in 2-3 months, whoever, you can't predict it. What was perfect and awesome then is not going to forever be amazing. It eventually will lose steam. Eventually someone's going to copy you. And so these are things. This is why you can't just put everything on autopilot. It does take brains here in many cases. Now, unless it comes to selling your food on Facebook or online in general, Tap the Table does this for you, obviously. All you gotta do is
you have to be
everything else.
very specific about what you mean in autopilot, because autopilot can mean a lot of stuff. Maybe what cannot be in autopilot is to bump the same people with the same ad all the time of the year. You have to move it a little bit. It gets boring. You have to be more creative than that. But you can have a rotation that can be in autopilot, that rotation. So it can be done.
If anyone's going to put something on autopilot successfully, it will be you. I've seen you do it many times, and at this point, it's like we're both like part chatbot or part robot at this point. I think it's really fun. Let's talk about some things that I don't necessarily do a good job of selling. Sometimes I have a lot of fun with our tools, but I don't do much of this selling stuff anymore. We're at a good place, thankfully. We have a little bit of money in our bank accounts these days. So Ryan's not knocking on every door anymore, thankfully. We're able to just solve bigger problems, whether that is with our friends from GyroTrack or our new friends who I just love so much, Taylor's over here. And these are both companies, mind you, that are not restaurants. As much as I love restaurants and food and eating all the things, especially pizza, we can help everyone, right? And Taylor's is such an interesting business. I didn't know much about it, except I drove past it about a bajillion times as I've lived where I live here in Hilton, had 10 years. I didn't understand how big of an operation they were, that they had 5 locations working on more, that Jarek Taylor's kind of a YouTube star with 100,000 views on like 2 different videos on YouTube. But they're into tech as well, at least to being open to tech. I don't think, truthfully, they would consider themselves, more of a tech-minded company until, or like, they didn't care so much about social compared to they didn't care so much maybe compared to their prior business model. Like they tried. They've had a very good advisor and someone here local. I won't say his name. I need to have him on the podcast and get permission. But he's a gangster. He's really smart. He's like almost a mini South Carolinian Gary Vee in a way that doesn't curse, thankfully, so much. And I don't know him that well, but hopefully I get this guy on the show, a good friend of Jarek's, and he's helped him in many ways, but he's open to things. And people just like GyroTrack people, Patricia and Danielle, when you're open to at least hearing someone out legitimately, you never know when that aha moment and that was our idea that set us off. You never know when it's going to happen. That's what I truly believe. And they're open to it. So this guy, like, I guess, Danielle, not only are they willing to hear Wendy's ideas and my ideas out and then look at our awesome creative, and then literally just tap their phone for the notification to appear just like it did, which is awesome. They're then going to make videos about it to promote the idea. It's not just like, sure, go ahead and holler at me and with you have results. They really care, and that's what it takes. As soon as any party in any relationship, business wise, doesn't care, it's never, the idea itself will never reach its full potential. I'm convinced.
Something that is very important what you're saying is I always believe that the creator or the head of the company must be always involved in that kind of stuff, because at the beginning and when the company is being molded, all the brand, it's around the personality of that person. And if you're not following that personality, you will break something. At some point, you will break something, and it won't work. It won't resonate with the same people. You will make a tiny mistake that it won't fit in that world. So the fact that Daniel and Patricia and all of them are involved and providing ideas and telling you, you know what, Ryan, that's a great idea, but we need to do it this way because our people is like this. We cannot know that because they have years of experience ahead of us on that niche, and we need that knowledge. We need them to tell us that kind of stuff. By yourself, it will take us, I don't know, a lot of tries, a lot of money, and a lot of time to actually learn what they already know. So it's really important to have the personality and the person who actually knows a niche to, giving you part of the ideas or trying to help you with the direction in these kind of cases.
And you just to go ahead, just end your total like slam dunk here with just another home run ending. You helped me come up with some of these questions that we're about to pop quiz Wendy with, and one of them was the biggest ticket items that we deal with our automation, and by a long shot, it is, unless you're looking at real estate, which is the only case you could argue that our system has helped generate millions and millions of dollars in an industry. It's less trackable over time unless it just is such an instant sale, like only someone that like Tristan could do from like what is it? Carolina Realty, I believe is what it's called. This really cool company, the big one on Hilton Head, I believe. I've been told they do big numbers, but he also has the Big Bamboo, which is our fun client on the south end of Hilton Head. He sells these houses in days, like these multi-million-dollar houses, poof, sold in a day. Those are fun videos to do. But GyroTrack consistently is our number one big ticket item. And what I tell people that are not familiar with the GyroTrack, and shame on you if you don't know what one is, even though I didn't know what one was a year ago. They're in essence $500,000 lawnmowers, man, that can essentially carve out the jungle for you to build your road or to build your community in a place that may have never been inhabited by people before. This is a guy that is from Canada, from the wilderness, basically, that that basically did the work of a GyroTrack machine these days with 100 guys. They'd go to do the work of the machine, and instead of using 100 guys forever throughout his career, he decided to make a machine. And this machine has, in essence, made its own industry, and he's just a complete visionary. The video with Musk, Elon was awesome. Hopefully we'll have him on the podcast. But these machines, folks, super expensive, cost more than my house, okay? And on the low end, and we won't talk about the total competitive price, give them the advantage here, even their attachments that go on the secondary machines, the less awesome machines other than GyroTracks, these things cost more than my brand new truck. Like 2021 Chevrolet, these things cost more than that, and they literally eat trees, man. It's crazy. I don't know the cost of things, but they're the biggest ticket items for sure. I want to ask you here, so you, what about Wendy? This is our whole segment here. I want to know what has been, you don't know which question I'm going to ask you. What has been the biggest surprise since working more with TTT? Because I know you're familiar in many automation systems, and many automation systems have their place. Sometimes you need a specialized tool. So for restaurants, I will go toe-to-toe, head-to-head with any person or individual or platform that says this tool is for restaurant automation or restaurant AI, whatever. This tool that we have is by far the Rolls Royce, so outside of restaurants, or maybe you can talk about restaurants, what's been the biggest difference or the biggest pro or con working with this tool versus other tools?
Okay,
The biggest surprise.
yeah, whoa. Okay, the thing I believe it's like the most surprising to me, it's that inside Tap the Table, well, first thing, the kitchen display system for me, it's wonderful. I mean, it's something
Yes.
that you cannot find in any other place. And it's super helpful for a lot of restaurants to talk to a restaurant owner, and they will tell you that that thing is something that they like because they don't understand that much about chatbots, or they don't care that much about messenger. They know they're losing money in there, but they don't care that much about that. They care about what's happening in the kitchen because that's where they live. Yeah, so that's one. The other thing I do love is the fact that you can upload all your inventory and all of your products in the same place, and with just a click, because you can have a CVS that most of restaurants have a spreadsheet with that, and you have all your menu up there in a second. And but as a bot builder, I think what has surprised me the most is the way I can make it shorter. I mean, there's a lot of things that I can work around in some other tools on another platforms, but here I don't need to work around because there's already something for me to do it directly, so I don't have to make extra steps to accomplish that. That's something that I love because I don't get that lost. I mean, I have a little bit of dyslexia, so whenever I have like a lot of stuff, I tend to put something in the background backwards. So I need something to be condensed, and I have been finding a lot of ways to make less steps to get to the same result. And maybe in some cases, for example, when I was trying to make the blackjack, I don't know if you were able to play it. I was
Oh
doing.
man, oh blackjack guys. Blackjack was one of the coolest things I saw ever in a chat. Facebook Messenger, I think it was one of my first experiences of Wendy just being a straight OG gangster on the internet here. She was like, "Oh, you guys are making games like this or that game. Well, try my blackjack game. How about that?" I was like, "Blackjack here? What?" And I couldn't believe it worked so well. She's also the creator, by the way, to all the clients that do watch my show. She's the brainchild and creator of many of the funnel starters that are available. And one of them is absolutely the favorite, most downloaded funnel in Tap the Table history. Do you know what do you know what it is?
I can think it's a funny one.
Yes, it's a game. What game do you think it is?
Rockets
Ooh,
Breakers.
boom. Everyone flips when they can play rock, paper, scissors in Facebook Messenger. And
Yeah, I love it.
what we'll
I
talk
love it
about.
because it helps you a lot whenever you're I use it to wait for the human agent to come in so you can have the person actually
To
inside
do
the chat and
something.
not forgetting they call a human to attend them. It's crazy. Just you take 5 minutes and they are already doing something else and they don't reply back. So it's horrible. I do that so they can keep playing and I know that they are there. That's something that I love. And because I started in bots because I own a music school, so I
Mhm.
work with a lot of teenagers. I wanted something to keep them like in the chat, keep them interacting with me. So I needed to do a lot of games. But before I lost this idea, when I was doing the blackjack, something that amazed me was I was expecting to do like a whole bunch of uh, decision making trees for just to pick the card, and it was one step. Top the table allowed me to do it in just one step. That's something that I wouldn't be able to recreate in any other place, just with one. That's something that I wanted to tell you. That's how we got to the games. But yes, I'm pretty happy when I see that somebody else just using the template I made there because I use the emojis in a certain way that I know when they are using it.
And I'll tell you, for someone, anyone I think that actually knows me well will tell you that, like, sometimes very annoying. Number one, very annoying and very passionate. Right? I really put a lot of care into the things that I do and put my name on, just like you do. And that's why one reason we work so well together. I think we really care about the end result. And what's awesome is to know that our clients also care that we care so much, and then they thank us. We get the text message. I love this. Share those good news results with you. But I also like to show off my own friends and family and business partners and employees and Wendy. Here's a shout out to your music school, which is awesome. You probably didn't think I was going to do this. Here is for anyone that is interested to know how you run an
Oh,
awesome page. This is her music school, and a shout out to the entire fam. And I'll tell you, I wish I should pull it up, but we'll do it today. The video of the kids you sent me of the students,
yeah, I think,
absolutely insane.
yeah.
Is it easy to find up here? In the
Yeah,
video
I have it.
section? So
It's
good,
not
man.
there. It will be that easy because it was an ad, but I
Oh yeah,
can
yeah,
send
yeah.
it to you. I can send it to you. I have it in my phone. Like I save it.
We'll put that in the comments. And also, guys, you see what
Yeah.
just popped up here? This is an awesome setting when you know you're dealing with an OG bot person when the chat window pops up as it should, like that, just as it should with the get started button, waiting for you to just click it. It just looks like click me. And as soon as
Oh,
you do,
that's my
you
baby playing the ukulele.
so adorable. This is a little Wendy right here. Man, it's so cool. And you guys, man, you have a look at this 43,000 views. You guys are no joke. You guys are the real deal. And it's so cool to see all the fun things that you make and you do. And I'm glad to help you guys in any way that we can. As always, at the table, you can really just show people how to run it, which is really cool. Here we go.
There
Here's a
it
little
is, the video.
we have to see this, folks. I'm going to turn our little Restream, shout out to Restream because they are leveling up all over the place. After I yelled at them so many times. Look at this, y'all. I don't know if it'll play or not. Let's see. Can I play the volume? Yes, man. How fun.
I think you're hearing on your headphones.
Or maybe not. Let's see if I can. Do you see this? So good.
Just as a comment,
I
all
have
of
to just
those
for a little
things.
bit, but do you see this is so awesome.
Yeah. Oh,
Amazing.
all of them are 5 at the moment of the shooting, and they learned the song just in a week, and they are playing. We record them playing.
Man, I just want to turn off the podcast here and just watch these kids just jam, man. Like, where's their Venmos and Cash Apps and all this stuff, dude? I literally just want to stop and just watch the whole concert. So fun.
Oh, it's so cute when you see all of the bunch of the 5-year-olds playing music and singing and all the instruments. It's so fun, so cute.
And this is the oh my goodness, this is so good. The screenshot that it ended on, I have to upload on this side on Restream because just so y'all know, if you're looking for that platform, I guess, to just do all the things and stream everywhere, you should use Restream because they're awesome, and you should use Kelly's code or Stephanie Lou's code. Whoever has a code, they're the ones that taught me these things. I'm going to stop this screen share here, and I'm going to upload this graphic because before I get on another subject, man, if we can do the things, we're going to do the things. And this is so funny. It's such a fun graphic. Whenever Wendy first told me about her school, I didn't really understand really what she meant. Because I'm thinking public school in Georgia or South Carolina or something, like having music class. This, guys, is freaking awesome. Can you see this? Do you see this, guys? This is so fun to me. I
That's
just
so
think
lovely.
it's so good, man. I'm gonna have my little lessons more thing. This is so fun. And I never thought ever that aside from robot or cartoon children could this be a thing. You know what I mean? All right, we'll get this little thing off of there, but it's so good. I do want to holler at Wiz Khalifa soon. Our friend needs to come back on the show. Last time I was texting him and he was sending me these automatic text messages back and just whatever. He's still cool, still like him.
Did you have a genius behind that automation?
Yeah, well, we're all geniuses when we use TTT. Don't forget that. You're immediately a genius, guaranteed. Just kidding. It doesn't say that anywhere in the contract of TTT. You're not automatically a genius, but it's fun to think about. Let's go back to a couple more questions before we end here. This has been fun. It occurred to me that as you were talking on your last point, this is a special one you didn't know I had up here. April Fools was a first time impression example. You had mentioned that a minute ago of a lot of people to your creative. And I can't even think of how many clients we had posts for on that day. I think 95% of our client base participated on that day. And you made so much awesome content. The one that I'll have to shout out myself, my personal favorite that people really wanted to buy this stuff. I couldn't believe it. Was the hashtag gyro track mulch flavored coffee. My parents actually, my parents when I spoke to them on that day, I think I called them literally to see if they were gonna tell me it was awesome if they had happened to seen it. When I'm sure they subscribed to the text messages and emails just to help their son out, right? I spoke with them, and it's one of the first things my mom said. Tell me about this mulch flavored coffee, and I was like, "Yeah, did you like our joke?" She didn't hit the button until I told her to see the GIF where it said actually April Fools. But by far, man, that was the one that caused, I think, the most controversy. There's another big one. What was your favorite?
I had my most of the fan with the one for trailers actually, because people was being like, some of them didn't get the joke, but the other ones were making fun of the creative, but also from the people that actually didn't get the joke. You know, they were being so funny among them, and whenever they actually that finally get it, they were being funny too. So it was pretty friendly, and I love it. The replies were awesome there.
And you just shout out again, to the clients that are just not afraid to try things that like don't necessarily scream. This is how you're generating the revenue. You know how I always say, I'm so goal oriented. What is the goal? What is the outcome we want to achieve? You know, at the same time, there's some cases where, and I always will. This is like my go-to. If I don't know the answer to something in marketing, like my answer is like branding, like because this is so important. You're almost never wrong if this is what your deal is or your thing. So this is totally brand. April Fools is a chance for you to really just have fun with your customers online. Hopefully, make them laugh and
give them a reason to troll somebody else.
Yeah, you could totally right. And I'm always the cautious guy, and she's the one, folks, that's like pushing the needle here, like, oh, just say this. And I'm like, the client doesn't like this angle, I don't think, but we could try it. She's like, just try it, And so many times I'm surprised, like, oh, they loved it. You're right. And I just play it so safe. Put the lawyer hat on top of the table hat on sometimes, to just make sure we're totally safe here, to make sure our clients are safe is what we're really worried about.
That's a good thing, because if we were both like pulling back, we wouldn't get anywhere. And if we were pulling full forward, the both of us, at the end we will fall, because if we will do something dumb or something way too edgy and maybe they don't like it, or maybe their clients won't like it. So I think we're doing a pretty good team.
I think there's no doubt about that. I mean, the one thing that we can always revert to and look at is the results. And we got, we won't say the name of the account today, but it was one of our recent accounts who Wendy has actually a huge piece in, I guess like 95, 98, 99% of the account. They hit us up and they said, man, we are seeing the results of social media for the first time, and it's great, but there's a problem. We didn't expect all this snowing avalanche to occur of inbox messages and inquiries and like customers full in our parking lot. I know the camera is like people watching, like, he's full of it. Like, this is serious, guys. Like, especially you've not seen results on social, if you've not seen this and you're ready to spend some gas money, meaning you're going to give money to Facebook to do their thing with, give it to Facebook to give it for ad exposure. This is your vehicle's gas money. This is the only way I can explain it. When you're ready to do that, if you have done that and you've not seen results, something's wrong. Because when you've done even of the 100 check marks you could possibly check off, if you've done like 10 of those things, folks, like 10% of the things you need to do, Facebook works. You're going to be flooded with people wanting to ask you questions, buy your stuff, make appointments, right? Are you seeing the same thing?
The thing is, I think the problem is many people who's trying for the first time not only make mistakes, because that's normal to make mistakes, but they give out way too early. Like $10 in one day and didn't work. And so Facebook robbed me. And that's not true because you didn't try enough. You didn't try different ways. You didn't make the changes you needed. It's just about giving a little bit of more time. I mean, Facebook is capable of giving you a lot of happy problems. And I mean happy problems like, okay, I have too many, I have too much work. I need to hire more people. I have too much sales that I run out of stock, so I need to restock or I need to have a wait list. I don't know.
That is now the inventory thing. You hit on some very interesting points here. The inventory piece, especially if you're really looking at e-commerce, is extremely important. Do you know why? Because when you can manage your inventory most efficiently, you're going to be most profitable. Meaning, the more that you're sitting at a stock of things that you're not selling that thing, the more money you're actually losing at the end of the day. Because really, you're selling X amount during the day, right, on average. And when you don't have that inventory because you were mismanaged or your Facebook ads were so gangster, but you didn't believe in yourself enough or have the cash flow to purchase that inventory, now you're missing out on some money here. And every dollar counts. This is something that's serious. Now,
Yeah,
as
if
much
you
as
don't have it, or by the other way, that you have it a lot of time sitting, not producing money, just keeping space, that's when you lose money. Both ways you can lose money.
1,000%. And if your end goal is what it should be, I believe that it is your goal, is even on the marketing side, to think on the side of the coin of revenue generation and saving that money. And when you start there and you know your intent, which is the other piece I wanted to bring up based on what you just said, it's much easier to know if that $10 did anything. Because the problem here, aside from lack of patience, is, in my opinion at least, when someone does throw the $10, which is not enough, when they throw the $10 at it, they don't know what to expect. Therefore, when something doesn't happen, um, they, oh, well, this is a fail, and they talk crap. Now, what is interesting even more, and we'll move on this subject, is I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if you've ran ads for us in a couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks maybe since you've done one. I think that I recall. Maybe you have. On my end, when I've seen the recent change, I see a change almost every day. No joke. That I'm looking at Ads Manager or Business Manager, I see a change almost every day. And the most recent one is immediately it's defaulting when you're boosting a post, not creating a Facebook ad, but when you're boosting a post, you are defaulted by like 4 days minimum. And if you move the ad to day 3, have you seen this for us? I don't know if you've seen that. Maybe
Yes.
I'm rusty. When I moved it back to 3 days, it gave me the WENDY error message in Facebook, basically, right from the app today. It reminds me of that. It's like, hey, ads that run at least 4 days tend to do better. And like, hello, it makes sense. And do you know why it's 4 days? Do you know why that's why they're coming out and saying that's the duration? I'll tell you why if you don't.
I'm not sure. I know that there's like a legend out there about 50 conversions, but I don't know about the days.
The days has occurred. It used to be 7, right? They used to tell us secretly, like on the calls, if you spent enough money with your ad account, and with the agencies I used to work with, like we far exceeded that criteria. We knew all the inside things. It's been so long I can talk about them. In essence, it was 7 days for the ad to learn the audience. So you think about that. If it's 7 days to learn the audience, and then it's going to take additional days to optimize, it's a lot longer than a 7-day flight. And so when you're looking at minimum days you can run an ad, now Facebook has again changed things. They're not going to tell us all the exact items they've changed, but they're saying it's going to take us, dude, at least 4 days to be effective. That is what they're saying. Now, it's not to say that if you do this, your same budget in 1 day, you don't see results, because you probably will. Facebook's so bad that, like I said, even if out of 100 boxes we're checking 10, likely if we give enough money, they're going to move the needle. When we check like 70 boxes, 80 boxes, 100 boxes, it is absurd what Facebook does, because it's like that machine. People that have been on those get rich TV skits on YouTube or whatever, like they want you to tell this is a thing. It is a thing. It's just very rare.
Yeah, I have been hearing that you need like 50 conversions, so the algorithm actually learns. So if you spend more on the first days, if you make shorter that wait time that people said that the 7 days or the 4 days. But to be honest, all of that is like legends. So
Totally.
I don't know what to believe. What I know is that there's a lot of people who is very fast in spending money in 1 day or 2 days, so they can say, okay, this one doesn't work, let's change it, because there's a lot of people who believe in speed. So
Luckily, I think whenever you in the digital world, as long as you have an open mind, it's okay to be wrong, but it's also
mhm,
okay to say what you've seen. So when you have the experience of running ads, that's what we're gonna get you running more ads and doing more things. We were just talking about pixel events earlier. This is what we talked about, folks. Marketing nerds like us, pixel events is what we were talking about earlier. But we'll get you really honed in on the ad world because it is an unlock. And for us, we do funnels differently here than most agencies. Obviously, we're doing it faster, better, more efficient. Hello. Cost efficient is key. I've seen, in my experience, ads that are on the shoestring budgets, like they could afford $200 in ads, and like that's it. And they want to see something move in the local market. That's possible. When they are really ready to go in and spend some money, like a big brand, still a small business, like I've seen an upwards of $2,500 per day spent 7 days a week, like clockwork during a month. And so if you're spending $1,000, $2,000, $2,500 a day in ads, well, what has to happen? We need to be
yeah,
making a lot of money per day. And so in the e-commerce space in general, it's very easy to see dollar in, dollar out as far as your ad ecosystem goes. When you
mhm,
factor in your like shipping and your actual retail costs and all these things, it gets complex. But you can easily say I spent $2,500 today. I spent $3,000 today on ads. This is what was spent in the 24-hour period. What did I get? How many clicks? How many conversions? How many sales? And so we could see something like $20,000 a day. No problem if it's done correctly. And this is like about as gangster as I've seen it being done in the e-commerce space, but it can be done. And I've seen it. And this is why I can talk about these things on Clubhouse and tell people when they're fibbing or I'd like to see an example. And when they can't do it, we just know, we know what we know. And then we're always open to learn, right? And you're one of the best
yeah.
at learning.
There's
I tell you to
always
learn one
something
thing
new
and
to
you're just like
do.
expert next day, right? Glad apps,
And
hello.
it's not only the new tools that Facebook or any other platform is getting out. It's new ways to use those old tools, because every day you can learn to mix something new and to get something else out of it. So it's always a new opportunity to learn, and especially when you interact with a lot of people who's running ads, you can get a lot of new ideas or of things that you never thought about, or I don't know, something that it's happening in another place in another part of the world, and you can replicate, but make the small changes you need so it can work in your niche, in your country, in your zone.
You nailed it. And I think that it's really all about the personalization too. And this is what all the other trends are saying. The personalization is key, and this is something that we excel in, thankfully. And before we run out, and before I've got to do more things for the clients here before I finally go to bed, there's one more big question I've got for you, and I'm deciding which one of the two remaining ones we mentioned I'm going to choose, and I believe I'm going to choose. I think you know what we're going to do. Let's do this one. This one throw a curveball at you. Out of
Mm.
these new tools that we have developed and are currently still perfecting to their just absolute TTT perfection, which of the two most recent tools are you most excited to use going forward? Is it the awesome, fully customizable, no social media needed web chat that has saved the day for GyroTrack today?
Yeah,
Or
actually.
isn't it awesome when you have the tool and it like literally comes in handy the day it's ready, it's perfect? Or is it the magic links? Because for me, I know why I like the magic links. It saves me at least like $69 a month after you like really have a bunch of codes. But in your own windified words, that was the word of the day yesterday, windified. In your own windified words, of the two newest tools of TTT, which is your favorite or most excited to use?
It's hard to choose just one, because I actually think on mixing the both of those, because the magic links, for those who doesn't know what it does, it's dynamic links. That means you can create uh, a main URL that will be static, and you can be changing where to land that URL. So you can land it into landing page into a web chat, into a messenger or Telegram or whatever you want it to be, and you can keep the link. That means you can generate one QR code and it won't change. You can just reuse it and change it to wherever you want. If for any reason you cannot or you don't want to keep using the web chat, you want them all to go to Messenger or to Telegram, you just change inside, and the same QR code that you already printed or that you already have in your NFC card, you can reuse it. So for me, I think it has to be a mixture of the two of those, because that makes you, that gives you choices, that gives you options to choose from. You can have that QR code to send you to a main landing page, where you can send to, okay, tell me where you want me to reach out to you. You want me to be on your messenger? You want me to be on your Telegram, or neither? You want just to open a web chat here and ask me whatever you need to ask me. So I think I have to mix them. I cannot choose one.
I should have known the queen of complexity. It was gonna make that answer a fun one. I appreciate that. I knew it was gonna be fun, and it's true. It's true. I think that they're best used when they're together. The web chat and magic links, they'll go hand in hand. And for me, it solves a big problem that I'm luckily do not have to face anymore. Hello, Mr. Butterfingers. If you have a typo in that URL that you've associated the QR code with, that $10,000 or 10,000 sticker order, you screwed up. You know, I wish that wine bottle liquor percentages were as flexible as our magic links. That would have saved us about 2 weeks.
We will tell them, scan the code to guess how much alcohol does this wine bottle have.
You know what? Like, I wonder what the we'll have to look into this. We'll put this in Monday hashtag, and shout out to Monday. They've we tried all the different platforms, and while we're making our own proprietary everything here over at TTT, because that's what gangsters do, we are utilizing Monday, and it's awesome. Monday is keeping us on track. I would say we like it better than Trello. We tried all the things. It's been good. So we'll have to add some of this stuff that we talked about into Monday today. But I think this was a good episode, man. I think this was fun. I think that we might have to tell the people about the new show coming about that they could look forward to, because unfortunately, as at least a reoccurring, be looking for it show, the ChatBot Podcast, my friends, more money, more problems, right? We're going after the dollars. And so while it's always so much fun hanging out, we just don't have the time or the bandwidth anymore. So unless you want Robot Ryan, don't expect so many long form podcasts, the Chatbot Podcast. But Wendy, tell them, what can they expect?
Well, they can expect more solution driven videos, and they can expect the Spanish version of it.
Boom. 5-minute funnels are coming. This will be a short video series. We're finalizing our format, but likely we're going to switch A and B back and forth, providing a funnel, or AKA a solution to a problem using our system Tap the Table.
Or a use case.
We're going to provide you a use case, a problem, a solution within about 5 minutes. Don't hold us to this 5 minutes deal, and I'm going to promise to not be so long-winded, but we're going to give you the fastest, most efficient solution to solve specific problems. 5-minute funnels in English and in Spanish. We're multi-use here. We can show you how to do things in Twilio. We can show you things how to do in Integromat, all these different tools. There's a lot of value here that are applicable across the board. So even if you're not a Tap the Table user, I would highly suggest anytime that we've got an episode to just take a look. It might be something that just changes your whole process in your marketing. You might find a way to save a ton of money, or you might just have to get something Wendy-fied, so you could reach out to Wendy and she could just hook it up like Salt Bay. Like, here's your magical ball sauce right here. You know? Wendy, thank you so much for being our guest again. This is our third episode. You're kind of a pro now. You're awesome. We appreciate everything you do, and let's keep on rocking, man. Let's keep on rocking.
Amazing. Let's keep working.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys on another episode of the ChatBot Podcast sometime in the future. But again, don't expect an episode anytime soon. We just don't have the bandwidth, guys, and we're glad for that. If we had all the bandwidth to stay on Clubhouse all day long and we could just stay doing podcasts all day, that would mean we don't have enough work. But luckily, I think the word's gotten out. Social media works. You just have to unlock it. TTT is the key. Automation in general is not the key in most cases. Know what your intent is behind everything that you're doing online, and then know how to judge the success. You're going to be just fine. Thank you so much for watching. Again, be on the lookout for 5-minute funnels coming very soon. Thank y'all so much, and peace.